Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of the MicroPod podcast. Got a really good show for you tonight. A great guest on tonight. We always have great guests on this show, but we seem to have really nailed it on the head tonight. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening, as always, to the podcast. Sorry we didn't do a show last week, but again, I was on holiday. I always seem to be on holiday. I don't know why, but I always seem to be on holiday.
Skyver, absolute Skyver, this guy.
Skiving all the time. No, it's good to be back, and great to be back with the MicroPod and with an extra special show. So I'll just pass over to the Welsh Gamer to say a quick hello to everybody.
Hello everybody, this is the Welsh Gamer. Thank you very much for tuning in to another MicroPod, and I'll pass you over to E-Rock as he'll be introducing our guest to the show. Yeah, take it away, E-Rock.
Hey guys, this is E-Rock8150, the Don King of Xbox, and as always, it's great to see you guys here. Thanks for joining us on the MicroPod podcast. And tonight, you've known him, you've talked to him. This gentleman's been a friend of the Xbox and the gaming YouTube community for some time now. He's been on several podcasts, and he has been really a great friend to all of us YouTubers who are starting out. His name is Adeloye from Bites of Chicken. He's got a great game out called Gear Gauntlet from ID at Xbox. It's out now. It's available on the Xbox Marketplace. Jay, you've been a good friend to us for years. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Thank you so much.
It always gives us such a warm welcome. Thanks, E-Rock.
No, it's great. I mean, just following on from what E-Rock said, you know, I mean, it's great to have you on, and for developers to take the time out and to join, you know, us as YouTubers and podcasters. I mean, it's an honour to have you on, and I'm sure I share that with the rest of the guys as well. You know, the fact that you take the time out to do it is really, really appreciated. So thank you very much. So what we're going to do then is we've got some questions that we want to throw at you. Hopefully they're not going to be too bad and we don't catch you on the spot. Obviously we're here to talk about Gear Gauntlet. Before I ask about you know, go into Gear Gauntlet though, I mean, what actually got you into gaming in the first place? And why did you want to be a developer? Was it something that you wanted to do as a kid? I mean, for me, I always wanted to be a developer. Unfortunately, I never got to do it. But as a young kid, I wanted to be a developer of games. So, how did you start? Where did you come from?
Basically, I've just always sort of been really interested in games. And growing up, I went through a period where I was quite ill as a child. And I remember my parents sort of bringing back games, and one of the ones I remember them bringing back was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
So, you know, on the Mega Drive and stuff. So that's like one of the fondest memories I have. You know, and I remember playing that game and not having a memory card or anything to you know, save the game.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of complete it in one run, like that, which sort of led to a bit of, you know, some of the difficulty that went into sort of Gear Gauntlet. But even another time, you know, I was in hospital and they had Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion, and I completed that. You know, I was just like, no other kid's gonna play it. I'm just gonna, whilst I'm here, I'm gonna complete this game. And you know, you just sort of remember those sort of moments that you had, and you know how it sort of left you feeling and stuff like that. And just on top of sort of having that interest in games, I had a big interest in like computers in general. So, you know, it only made sense that as I grew up and I started getting more sort of access to computers and stuff like that, I just wanted to sort of learn how to actually make software and games in general.
Yeah.
So, you know, I chose studies that sort of led down that career path, really. And yeah, I ended up not going in straight into a gaming industry in terms of sort of working for a games company or anything like that, due to sort of family things that happened. So I went to work for making internal systems and business applications and stuff like that.
Right.
I had done a degree where, you know, we learned about making games and stuff like that. So I had the knowledge, just that I didn't have sort of you know, the job. So I decided, you know, I didn't want to sort of throw all of that away, and me and a friend sort of started messing around and coming up with some game ideas, and then that led to making Drop Dead Interactive, and then we actually made the idea of a game called Doc Dash, which years later became Gear Gauntlet for advancements and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically how I got into the whole game.
Sure, yeah. I mean, with developing games, I mean, have you found that the idea Xbox programmers really helped you to do that, or was that something that you would have probably still been able to do quite easily anyway, or has the idea Xbox really helped?
Yeah, it's definitely helped because number one, you get a lot of knowledge. Because I mean, you're dealing with guys that have sort of been in the games industry for multiple years, not only as sort of developers, but people that had experience with publishing or dealing with publishers and stuff like that. Because really, when you're joining the idea Xbox, not only are you sort of given the tools that a normal or a bigger studio like EA or Ubisoft or one of those guys would be given. You're sort of you're given the tools. You're treated exactly the same. So I had the full arsenal for working with the Xbox One at my fingertips. So that was sort of like a big deal. And being that Xbox One was relatively new, when I got my hands on it, there were certain things that hadn't been done before. So the best people to talk to get information was the Xbox team really. And for me, they were always like, right there to sort of reply to emails and, to give me sort of the help I needed. And the biggest help that they gave me was the fact that, especially in the UK, they took me to a lot of their events, which, starting out would be very costly to sort of get all that booth space and stuff like that and, the exposure. So, I'm really grateful that they were sort of able to help me with that and, sort of put me in a position where YouTubers such as yourself would even get to hear about my name and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I mean the overall sort of impression I get at idea of Xbox or idea Xbox is it's just opened a whole new era of gaming really, especially for the arcade and the indie titles. And they seem to be more. Well, I mean, we were talking about this a few weeks ago on a previous podcast. I mean, I personally was never a big fan of some of the indie games, and the Xbox 360 sort of got flooded with them, didn't it? But because the idea Xbox, we've got a better quality of game coming.
Yes.
And I've said this a few weeks ago. I find that there's more creativity and ingenuity in the idea Xbox games now than what we're getting from the main, the main developers, the main people that are doing these games, like EA, as you said, and so I'm seeing more interesting titles coming from the idea Xbox, certainly in my own opinion. So
yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that because, as you said, with the 360, what you had was an unregulated sort of indie space. So anyone could make a game really. You just paid your money to get get access to sort of the SDKs and stuff like that. And then as long as you passed a few sort of checklist items, your game could go up there. So you had people that were making things like a game that was just basically a fireplace or
yeah, you did, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, just in that space, the only games that really got recognised were the ones that did things like Minecraft clones. A few other clones and maybe some shooters and stuff like that. So it was quite hard to stand out with that. And then you had the games like Braid, Castle Crashers.
The ones that did well.
So those games you had to have a publisher. So and back then it was quite hard to get a publisher, being sort of like a no-name person. But with a publisher, you were sort of almost guaranteed to do somewhat well. The fact that the idea Xbox came and it introduced the more tighter restrictions for people just sort of putting random games onto the store. For me, that was a very positive thing, and it meant that developers had to sort of think out of the box and get a bit more creative and sort of just add that layer of quality to the games, which is why you are getting to see you know, these really nice games that are coming from, you know, all of these indies and stuff like that. And also, you know, with the Xbox, it also sort of encouraged people that would normally sort of, you know, not even think about sort of releasing the game because they you know, didn't want to have to deal with publishers and, you know, just that sort of stuff. You know, it makes them feel that, yes, I can actually, you know, get this idea, show it to, you know, the team and stuff like that, and get that feedback, because there are some games where you think it's the best game in the world, but then someone just has to, you know, someone that's not a friend will tell you, you know, just this isn't going to work, and stuff like that, or they might just say, okay, it needs this little bit thing here, and then you go back and then you know you go work on it, and then you end up coming up with a game that's like really good. I mean, the best game that I've seen, you know, to come out of the Xbox, which, you know, just looks so stunning, is We Happy Few.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could say Inside as well, but obviously they came from Limbo and stuff like that.
Yes,
but yeah, We Happy Few just came, you know, from nowhere, and it was just like, wow, this game, you know, it looks like a sort of, it kind of gave me a bit of a Bioshock feel.
Yes, yeah.
So I don't know if it has some of the ex-devs from there on it or what, but just the fact that it's able to come, you know, as an independent thing, and then also it's got the preview program, so they're allowed to sort of put games out there, get feedback whilst, you know, and make changes and stuff like that. So it's just really opening a lot of doors, and yeah, I just think the program is such a good thing, and you know, I'm still in the program, so. Yeah.
Well, I'm worried about taking up too much of your time because I know the guys have got loads of questions for you as well. But I mean, just one last question, you can answer it as quickly as you like. From the moment that Idea Xbox was involved and you were tied in with them, how quickly did you go from sort of having the game sort of in development to actually having the title released? What sort of timescale were we looking at after that?
I would say probably about 8 months, and that's mainly to do with the fact that I do the development in my spare time. And as I say, you get that feedback from the guys, and then you suddenly think to yourself, do you know what? I can actually put a bit more effort into this, and, you know, make it even more polished.
Sure.
You learn about things like release dates, because you know, the time when I originally was planning to release the game, you know, it was a period where like Halo was coming out.
Yeah, sure.
And some of these other big games, and, you know, straight away everyone's just like, no.
No.
So, you know, you sort of say to yourself, okay, then find the best window for yourself, because there's always like little quiet periods and stuff like that, and, you know, being a new person, you want to try and make advantage of that and not sort of say, okay, my game can go up against Halo, why not? I'm just as big as them, but the reality is you're just not. So
no, yeah, that's a lot of things you don't think about, isn't there, that are involved with it? But without their experience, you know, as somebody pretty new, you're not going to know these things, are you? But you know, cheers for that. I really appreciate the fact that you've answered those. So what I'll do now is I'll pass you over to the Welsh Gamer and for some questions at you, mate. So I'll hand you over.
cheers.
Cheers, Micro, and Jay, thank you for coming on, man.
No worries.
I'll be completely honest when I say this now. I'm not that familiar with indies in general. I've only played a handful, and Gear Gauntlet did go under the radar a bit for me until now. But I have been looking into it and looking into like the game itself, and it is a beautiful looking game. I mean, the art style is incredible, and you should be very proud of what you've achieved, like with that game.
You.
I'll 100% be getting it this Friday when I get paid. I'm going to make sure that I use my dummy controller though, because one of my questions is this is one of the 2 quick fire questions, so you could be as quick as you like, and then I got a third main question for you.
Yeah.
But was your goal when you made this game to cause people to rage smash their TVs and controllers by any chance?
The main thing I really wanted to do, because I think it was at a period where I was playing some games where there was too much hand holding, and the idea was just to make a game that just, you know, was as brutal as can be, but at the same time still trying to be fun. So yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely looks fun, and I mean, I've watched plenty of videos in the last few days, where like people are just like just like and they're just like duck and dive. No, fantastic, mate. Honestly, a great approach. Just a simple question, just so we get a little bit, get to know the guy behind the game a little. You probably have already answered this. You said you played Sonic and other games like that. But what is your favourite game and franchise? Like, what games do you play when you're not developing? Like, what do you like to pick up and play?
Again, the game that sort of, whenever I get asked this, I always have to go back to, and it's mainly because the story that was behind it, the emotions that I felt when I was playing it, the enjoyment and the time that I had with it, because there was so many hours that went into this game, and that game was Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
I look at it now and I'm just like, it looks quite bad. But when I heard about the remake, I was like just so happy, because it was something that, I had such wonderful memories with it, and I just thought with the technology of today, the story could be even more in depth, and yeah, it was just such a cool game for me, and really set me on the path as to this is definitely what I wanted to do, type thing.
No, that's fantastic, mate, because like that's the beauty of this. I mean, we're talking to a developer here, but I think a lot of people will forget that developers are also gamers too, at least the majority of the time. And you've got your favourite games which you just have fond memories of, like me, Micro, and E-Rock do. So, no, I appreciate your answer, mate. It's very interesting to get to know how the mindset of a developer is and stuff like that. My third quick-fire question was going to be, how long did it take for you to make this game, Gear Gauntlet, from beginning to end of its development? But Micro just had to steal that one off.
Always.
So I'll just skip to the main question, because you said it took you 8 months, didn't it? 8 months it took you? Yeah. Right, I got one last question for you, mate. Take your time with it, or do it as quick as you like, but I'll be done with you after this. But basically, when it comes to development, with any game I ever pick up, I always do get curious as to what gave the developer that light bulb moment, like that moment where you thought, bing, like, this is the game I want, a Gear Gauntlet, this is what I want to make. Like, what was it that caused that light bulb to go off in your head to get you where you are now? Like, the finished product, like, that is what you envisioned.
I mean, I guess with Gear Gauntlet, as I said sort of earlier, it was the whole idea of games just being too easy. I remember playing Prince of Persia, the one that was like really colourful, and you was with that woman.
Yes, that was
basically you could drop off the edge, and then she would just sort of fly down, pick you back up, and it was just like, you just felt no sense of danger, because you just could not die. It was so hard to die on that game. And the sort of the tipping point where I was just like, this to me isn't fun, because I mean, there's certain games where, obviously you don't want it to be too hard, because that's not the main focus and stuff. But in an adventure game, you get that sense of adventure from feeling the danger and the threat, and when you sort of beat that danger or threat, you kind of feel empowered, and you feel you've just conquered this boss or whatever it is. But if you feel that there's this whole safety net, to me that sort of takes away from the game and just leaves you feeling a bit flat. So for me, that was sort of the, okay, I'm gonna make this game that's gonna be sort of really hard. And I mean, I was playing a few other games at the time, like Guitar Hero was one of them, and I wanted to make something with colours that didn't use obviously a guitar and could be used with a controller, because for me the Xbox controller was sort of just like the best controller that I was using at the time. So yeah, for me it was just, okay, what can I do using colours that's got a bit of this this brutal gameplay in it, and it started off with this idea of we were just gonna have some circle moving across the screen that was using colours and stuff, and then as I say, it's just sort of evolved, into what Gear Gauntlet is. But I mean, something that I'm sort of working with at the moment now, which I haven't really, talked about, like the way I'm, got that Bing moment this time was I thought, okay, let me make a game that sort of represents little bits of my life growing up and stuff like that.
Interesting.
You might think I'm gonna go off and write some, autobiography game or something like that, but it's just sort of, when you think of things like bosses or enemies and stuff like that, you always sort of try to give them some sort of characteristics or mold them in your own vision and stuff like that. So basically, that's what I'm doing with this game. I'm using my experiences to sort of help me create these characters within this game that I'm sort of working on. And also, with the all these other games that have come out, things like Inside, We Happy Few and stuff like that. Again, these type of games, they also make you feel that you got to push the bar because games are getting better. So that's another thing that's sort of giving me inspiration for the current game that I'm working on. It's sort of going from Gear Gauntlet, which was sort of a 2D game, and then making this much bigger 3D game that we're working on. So
Wow.
No, honestly, Jay, thank you so much. You answered that question better than I could have imagined, and the fact that you sort of spilled the beans on a potential new product. You
heard it first.
Everyone, you heard it here first on the microphone. No, cheers, Jay. What a lovely guy you are. I wish you the best of luck with Gear Gauntlet and its future success, and also with your next project. That is my last question. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, mate.
no.
Wow. Can you guys hear me?
We can
hear you.
Yeah, I was not expecting Jay to drop a huge spoiler on his next game, but thank you.
I can't wait for that one.
Guys, to give Microbox of X and the Welsh Gamer a bit of background, I've known Jay for about a year now. We actually met on the Let's Talk Games podcast. Kid Smooth was actually, if I'm correct, one of the first YouTubers who was part of the movement to get Gear Gauntlet out there, to get awareness out there. And the last time I talked to Jay, this baby he was giving birth to was in development. It's released now, and Jay, I'm sure you've seen the reviews. I'm just going to read you some of them because it's got to feel great to know that this creation that you and your partners have been laboring on for 8 months or more. Here are the reviews. One reviewer says, Gear Gauntlet reminds me of a mixture between Super Meat Boy, Marble Madness, and Tetris. The developers knew exactly what kind of game they wanted to deliver, and they knocked it out of the park. Another review says, Gear Gauntlet is the perfect game to pick up and play. Yet another review says, Gear Gauntlet starts out as a slow burner and plays as though it suddenly got doused in gasoline. That means the game is hot. And of course, IGN calls it demanding and addictive fun. Now, you've seen the Metacritic scores. The score's high. How do you process the fact that you've basically worked long hours after a day job, taking care of a wife and kids, and this labor of love is being universally praised since it's dropped? How does that feel?
Well, I mean, it feels really good. I'll admit that one of the things that I was told was to try and stay away from some of the reviews and comments and stuff like that.
Oops, sorry.
To hear some of that, it's the first time I've heard that, so it does make you sort of feel good, and I'll probably go and tell my wife after that. But I mean, for me, number one, it was sort of getting that finished product out and getting it on onto the console. I mean, I've said many a time that the Xbox platform was, and is one of my favorite consoles, and I'm a big console gamer. So for me to see my title on, you know, that system that in itself was an accomplishment. And then the friends that I've made, you know, like yourself, Ewok, Kid Smooth, and you know, Bellawise, and you know, stuff like that. It's just been amazing. And then I've made friends with the people at Xbox, and again, as I said, they take me to all these events, which enabled me to meet fans. You know, I've got pictures with certain people, and you know, all those are just memories that, you know, can't be taken away. And just that in itself was you know, the reward, all the reward that I could have asked for. But you know, to make things even better, obviously, it puts me in a position where I can now go on to do other things, and basically, yeah, it's sort of that getting my foot through the door sort of thing, as you know, people always saying. So for me, it's just been such a roller coaster ride, and now that I've sort of learned the basics with things, it means that the next game, the process is going to be a lot quicker. I can plan things a lot better. So you know, the plan is to, you know, get out to E3, get out to PAX, and all that kind of stuff, to, you know, engage with even more people. So yeah, it's just sort of been like a dream come true, really. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for, you know, a better outcome for it, really.
And you know what, man? One of the things I respect about you when we talked last year was, we live in a generation now, especially here in the United States. We live in a generation of complainers, people who complain about this game sucks or this movie sucks. Instead of complaining, you went out, you followed your dreams, and you made it happen. And you made it happen. And not only that, but you've been completely accessible to YouTubers, to bloggers like myself. You've been accessible to the entire community. So Jay, cheers, man. Cheers. You deserve it, bro. You deserve it. Yeah. And we've got some more subjects to talk about. I'd like for you to stay, but if you can't, we totally understand, man. But Jay, we love you, dude. You know, you've been a friend of mine for a year now. Thank you, man, and congratulations, dude. Congratulations.
No worries, guys. It's been great being on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely well deserved. Definitely well deserved. I hope it carries on and does better and better.
Cheers, guys.
And we can do our bit to raise even more awareness, and there we go. I know my lad's now looking forward to playing it. He loves Meat Boy, and he saw this today. I said, "Oh, the guy who developed this is coming on today," and he looked at it. He said, "Oh, what's that? What's that? I've never even seen that one." So I know he's ready to play that as well. So it'd be passionate me to get that this week.
Oh.
But
I hope not to cut you off, Micro, but just quickly, yeah. I don't know if you need to go anywhere, Jay, but before you do go, just in case you're about to leave, I just wanted to quickly say, any rough idea, like when we might see some sort of footage or maybe a trailer? I don't know how it works in terms of development for this new game you're talking about. Is it in really early stages, or is it like I don't know.
He's fishing. He's fishing.
Yeah, at the moment it's literally a case of we're just working on getting a lot of the mechanics in, making sure some of the ideas are definitely going to pan out, and then once that's done, it enables us to sort of judge the scale of what the overall thing's going to be. But it's also going to, you know, enable us to do, you know, what is known as a vertical slice as well, and, you know, get a nice prototype out there, because it would be nice to, I guess, maybe go to a publisher and say, you know, we've got this idea, you know, do you want to do anything with it and stuff like that. So it just all depends, because as I say, you know, it is something that we're sort of doing in our spare time again. Just that, you know, this time around there's like a wealth of knowledge coming with us, so it definitely make things go a lot quicker, and that's why, you know, I'm sort of choosing to do it in the manner that I'm doing it at the moment. But yeah, I wouldn't want to put a date on it, but yeah, at the moment it's definitely in its early stages. But I mean, every now and again I'm always sort of tweeting little pictures of you know, screenshots and stuff like that. But it's still a point where a lot of things can change. Again, it's, as I say, it's more about just getting the mechanics in there. Yeah, cool. So we are using like placeholder assets and stuff like that whilst You know, we've got like artists and stuff like that working on sort of art styles and things like that. But yeah, definitely, you know, if people are interested, just, you know, follow me on Twitter, you know, at Bites of Chicken, and yeah, keep up to date with me through there, really.
Yeah, I followed you today, mate. Not to worry.
Yeah, as did I. And perhaps, you know, when you're getting closer to release, or when you've got some more news, perhaps you'll come on again and talk about it. And we'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, definitely, guys, definitely.
Definitely.
No, fantastic,
Good.
fantastic, brilliant, awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I mean, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken the time out to come and join us on the MicroPod. It means a lot to us, and it's just nice to have you know, somebody who actually works in the industry actually joining us. You know, I mean, we have such a big passion for games. That's why we do it. So to actually get people like yourself on and talking with us is just great stuff. And obviously the people who watch the show as well, actually, you know, they want to hear it as well. So I can't thank you a lot. I just wish you all the success with Gear Gauntlet and your new project as well. So thank you very much. Can't thank you enough. There you go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Alright, guys, well, I'll see you later. I'll see you later.
All right then, mate. Take care.
Take care, Jay. Thank you very much for on it. Thank you.
So there you go. I mean, how do you follow that? We might as well end the show now.
Right, see you later, guys.
How do you follow that, Jay? There. Oh dear. What can you say?
Well, like I told you guys, he's really a great guy, man, a great friend of the community, and it wasn't a thing where when he was reaching out to the YouTubers, he did it because he's a gamer and he loves gaming, and he really, as you can see, he's really a great guy and just wonderful to talk to. So anytime we can talk to a guy as nice as him and get awareness out there, it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, going on for talking. I was just going to say, because I remember the first time I heard him was on the podcast with yourself and Kid Smooth all that time ago, and that was when I first found out about Gear Gauntlet. It was from the two of you on the Let's Talk Games, was it? I can't remember the name of the podcast now. But it was listening to that podcast that got me aware of it in the first place. So, you know, hats off to him, the fact that he actually takes the time to do that.
Well, guys, since we've talked last, there's been some news going on. Micro, what's going on in the world?
Well, what's been happening? What's been happening?
Everything.
I got
Tell me about it. Where do you want me to start? Right, do you know what I was thinking today? What are we going to talk about? And I thought, oh, I've got loads I want to talk about. You two have probably got loads you want to talk about. We've got the Microfilm podcast next week, which I cannot wait to get on with you next week. Here I can talk about Suicide Squad. I'm very excited about that.
Yes, and Suicide Squad, and I've seen Star Trek. I'm so
and Star Trek. Yes, you've seen it at last. I take it.
Yes.
Great time. So, okay, let's start off then. The first thing I want to talk about tonight, let's talk about the Xbox One S. Selling out everywhere.
Yeah.
You just can't get one for love of money. Let's put it into perspective. They've sold out. They've now confirmed that they will not be restocking this Xbox One S 2 terabyte. CEX in the UK, which is very similar to GameStop in America, E-Rock, they're buying them in 30 quid above the retail price and selling them at £475. So they're sought after. People want them. They can't get hold of them. People, unfortunately, stores like CEX are taking advantage of that and taking the piss out of the customer a bit. I think CEX should be held accountable for that. I think that's disgusting. But the console has sold really well. I mean, I can't wait I hope they release some sales figures. But it's not just been in the UK, it's been across the board. I mean, the Xbox One S,
world.
Yeah, sold out everywhere. It's going to be interesting to see because obviously we've got the Gears of War edition next month. I think it's out in 4 weeks' time, 4 or 5 weeks' time. The 2 terabyte Gears of War version. I can see that selling out as well. I mean, they're already listed on Amazon. I've seen those at like 480, 490. Seen them up as far as 500.
Jeez.
You know, people want them. You know, it's as simple as that. And they have admitted now, haven't they? They've actually come out and said that the Xbox One S has been overclocked. so you have got better performance from the machine, albeit not a great deal, but there is a better performance from the machine anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic news, and I think it's one of the reasons that the PlayStation 4 has done so well is because there's been so many SKUs, hasn't there? There's been so many different versions of it. So to actually have another version of Xbox One out now is something to get people to go out and actually part with their cash to get these consoles. You know, I think it's going to start bringing the Xbox One into a level par of the sales figures of the PlayStation 4. I think it's something that they've lacked a little. I think we discussed it on the last MicroPod, didn't we? That the fact that they've had less SKUs out, and that could have a factor on the sales figures of the console, I think.
Absolutely.
People love the limited edition consoles, don't they? They like the crystals, they like the green ones, they like the Halo editions, the Gears of War editions. But I don't think Microsoft have really taken advantage of that market. But hopefully that will change with the S. What are your guys' thoughts on the S? I mean, what are you thinking, Rob? What are you thinking of the S?
I mean, I knew it was going to be a hot seller. I had no idea it was going to sell out this fast. I'm really happy for Microsoft. I'm really happy that ever since E3 2016, they've been able to change the narrative. The story's been about them,
Absolutely.
their products, their games.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a complete turnaround. Even the media, they've kind of been slowing down on their hate campaign against the Xbox because they finally realized, you know, they're doing everything right. They've seen what gamers want. They're giving you what gamers need, and this whole thing with the Xbox One S selling out, that's just amazing to me. And I would love to see the sales figures. Not that sales matters, but let's be honest, we do want to see this brand succeed. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do really. I mean, they've gone through a sort of a stage of not releasing figures, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I'd like to see them. I mean, it's all Sony bleats on about is their sales figures. So, you know, I know Microsoft aren't interested in that. They just say, well, we just sell our consoles and we just do what we do, and they're not really interested in what Sony does. But, you know, as fans of the console, as fans of the brand, we'd like to know how well they're doing, don't they?
Yeah.
Or don't we even? Not don't they? So, yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts, Bowen?
I genuinely, I did a video the other day, and when I did, at the time of making the video, when I'd read an article about the Xbox One S being sold out all across the UK. I couldn't speak for the US at that point because I didn't know anything. I know things have come to light as of recently that it's sold out in the US as well. But at the time of the UK, I was just like, Jesus. I was like, wow, like sold out everywhere. Like websites like Amazon and wherever, if you wanted to pre-order it, you had to pre-order it for restock, and because they weren't there. And then people were selling on eBay Xbox One S's. I saw one going for £650.
Ouch.
When the retail price is like, for the 500 gigabyte, I think is like 230.
$299. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then the 2 terabyte one, you're talking like 400 or something like that. But you're talking like some people, I can see it now. They might have pre-ordered for day one two consoles, knowing the demand was going to be ridiculously high, and they've sold another one on eBay for like a £200 profit. An absolute, just unbelievable. I mean, like when you think we were only talking the other week about, like the Xbox, it was like 30% down in its sales and all that stuff, and we were like, but we know that common sense says that people might have called it damage controlling, but common sense, like you said, Micro, on that podcast, why would people buy an Xbox One when like a few weeks up the line the One S was coming? And this is just proof in the pudding. The Xbox One S is just the console people have been asking for. And this is before the Scorpio even comes out. So, honestly, fair dues, can't fault it. And on the note of the Gears of War themed console, it's been confirmed by Rod Ferguson that they are. I
Nice.
know they are. Well, they're nice, yes, but they are they are very limited. I know limited edition is limited anyway. Duh. But this is like really limited. Like there's not a whole lot of them. So I don't know how many are going to be on the shelves available, but I don't think there's going to be a great deal of them. And you touched also on the Microsoft releasing figures. I'm going to respectfully disagree and say that I hope they don't. I hope they don't lower themselves to that, because they've been the modest, humble people this whole time, and I don't want to see this victory get to their heads, because I mean, like PlayStation. At the end of the day, they've been very unprofessional. Their fan base has been very unprofessional. They can't wait to shove figures down everyone's throats. So for me personally, I prefer, even if Microsoft win NPD and they all the way up to next year, and they smash the sales, even if they catch up and with PS4, I just want them to keep their integrity intact, keep their humble attitude intact, and just not release the numbers, leave it to the masses to wonder, because we know they're doing exceptionally well with the success of the 1S, and like E-Rock said, the talk is on Microsoft. For me, numbers don't matter at this point. They're irrelevant for me. But that's all I've got to say.
You actually make a good point. That's good. Well done.
Well, I don't know. It's a funny one. I mean, yeah. I mean, it does not affect me how well a console's selling as to how much I'm enjoying my console. But I mean, if we're constantly going to have Sony beating the chest saying, "Oh, we've sold this many," then it's nice to have something to come back with. I mean, you're sick of. I mean, PlayStation fanboys have been having ammunition for a long time to throw at us, even if it wasn't. Even if it wasn't true, they do bend things around and everything. But it's nice for us to have something to at least come back with. And at the end of the day, that's why we do these things. We're here fighting Microsoft's corner when that's why I got into YouTube in the first place, because there weren't many people that were doing it. There was hundreds of people on the PlayStation side, bashing on Xbox and doing YouTube channels and whatever. That's why I got into it. So, yeah, I can sort of understand what you're saying, Bowen, but I still think we need to have some sort of. It's nice to know how well they're doing. It's all very well saying, it doesn't matter. But I mean, it's nice to know at the end of the day when you support something. I mean, you don't support Manchester United, but then go there and say, "Oh, I don't care about the score. Don't tell me the score." That's the way I look at it. It is a competition. It always has been. It was when it was Sega and Nintendo, and it is now with Xbox and Sony, and hopefully Nintendo as well. I want them to sort of pull their finger out and actually show us a console soon. I want to see the Nintendo on the market, one that's selling. So
that Manchester United analogy. That's
right now. There's somebody listening somewhere in the United Kingdom is pissed and he's screaming, "Liverpool, Liverpool!"
Use Manchester United. I only use Manchester United as an example. I'm not a Manchester United fan. I'm not a football fan. Come to think of it, never mind.
It's all coming out now.
You don't sing the song. What is that song? "You Will Never Walk Alone"? Is that?
I like the song. I don't like football.
All the best sports are in America. I wish we had American football and basketball.
We've got snooker.
Well, you know what? Not to get off the subject. Over here, we enjoy the National Football League. We enjoy American football. But recently, the last 15, 16 years, a lot of Americans have gotten into football. The Barclays Premier League. They got some great teams over there, man. That's a great sport. Then when you learn the history of some of these teams going back 100 years almost, I mean,
the thing is, most of them are probably owned by Americans now.
Wow.
Cardiff's team is owned by like a Japanese guy or something like that.
Is it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's where the money comes from, and the investment comes from abroad, and they invest it into a team. Look at Leicester. I'm assuming they got investment from somewhere to suddenly come from the bottom to where they ended up at the end of last season. What are we doing talking about football?
I know, this is obsession.
Get off football. I don't like football.
I'm going to kick off another topic then, if that's okay with you, Michael. We need to get things back on track.
Well, it depends whether it's the next one on my list. Go on.
No, I'll let you go then.
No, go on. I'll let you.
Are you sure now?
Yeah.
Right, well, seeing as we just talked about the Xbox One S, it seems only fitting that we have a little bit of a Scorpio topic thrown in. Is that okay?
That's not the next one on the list.
All right, okay then. You. Well, Phil Spencer confirmed via Twitter that hardware, platform, and of course the most important thing, what we all want to hear, games are already in development for the Scorpio. And I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on what you guys think. And do you think by the time Scorpio is released, we can expect the likes of a Halo, maybe a Halo 6, in 4K, Forza 7 in 4K? But when you think of developers, we already know the guy from Fallout at Bethesda is working on, Fallout 4 or Fallout 5 in 4K and VR on the Scorpio. So is it much of a stretch of the imagination to think developers like EA, Ubisoft, Rockstar, what do you think we can expect by the time Scorpio is released?
I would have expected games to be developed on the Scorpio by now. I mean, the system's out in just over 12 months' time. They need to be developing games for it now. I mean, they need to be getting to know the spec of the machine, the tech. I mean, the chances are it's probably going to be quite easy to pull over from PC on the Scorpio, because it sounds like it's pretty much going to be a in the box PC, doesn't it? Or that kind of setup. So porting over from PC probably be a lot easier. Although that's not necessarily a good thing when you look at games like Arkham Knight that come out with all the problems they have. But no, I would have expected. I mean, even before the announcement, I would have expected developers to be working on games for the system already. That would have been a no-brainer. Otherwise, it had just been released, and then you'd just be putting Xbox One games that are already out in there, possibly with patches or whatever to up the spec. No, I mean, I would have expected it. Whether we'll see things like Forza and Halo, I don't know. I mean, what are we now? With Halo 5's been out for what, 12 months?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we'd be pushing it for Halo in the first year, at least, of Scorpio's lifetime. I can't see another Halo dropping in that sort of amount of time. I mean, Halo 5 was in production, what, 3 years? Possibly even longer. So I think Forza's definitely a possibility. I think the way that the Forza team works, they do seem to be able to push those games out quite quickly, but all they seem to need to do is put more cars in, up the graphic quality. Something like Halo, there's more involved. So I could certainly see a Forza drop, as long as they don't do what they did with the Xbox One launch and give us half a Forza game with about 4 tracks on it and about 20 cars. But no,
How about multiplats though?
Multiplats?
How about multiplats? Because I mean, if you remember when they said about the Scorpio, apparently they sent out surveys to loads of developers, loads of like you can imagine your Rockstars, your Bethesdas, your Ubisofts, your EAs, like they sent surveys out to all these developers to get feedback. What do you want in this box? So what other games can you expect? I mean, a part of me is sort of thinking maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe the reason they're holding out is because they're working on 4K.
You can pretty much guarantee there'll be a Call of Duty on it as soon as it drops.
Yeah.
They'll probably do what they did with the Xbox One, like they did with Ghosts, and they brought out quite a mediocre game. It had slightly sharper resolution, but it wasn't graphically that great for a next-gen console game. You'll see a Call of Duty drop on it, no doubt. You'll probably see the next Battlefield drop on that system as well. That'll probably be 2 of the launch games for the Scorpio. I think you'll see Battlefield and Call of Duty definitely. They'll definitely be launched titles. But whether they will just be upscaled games that are coming to the Xbox One, well, they will be, won't they? They'll just be upscaled games. So it's just a case of wait and see, isn't it? See what they do.
No, absolutely. How about you, E-Rock? What do you think about that bit of news?
Man, listen, it's like this, guys. I've got about 12 months to save and find some way to get together 1,000 American dollars because I am getting by hook or crook, hell or high water, I am getting a 4K HDR TV, and I am getting the Scorpio because you better believe when Scorpio drops, Forza 6 is going to be on the Scorpio, and it's going to be amazing. And yes, we're going to see another Madden because EA always likes to be the first ones in the water when new hardware drops. And this could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can envision Crackdown 3 being moved from the Xbox One to the Xbox Scorpio. I mean, they're not going to release that console with any less than 18 games. So it was a bit of a no-brainer for them to announce, yeah, we've got developers working on games now. You better believe it. It's launching in November of next year. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's one thing to be excited about all the games we've got coming this fall, but when you look at next year, I'm just really amazed at how Xbox was able to change the conversation, and now we're talking about Scorpio. People are trying to downplay it now and say, "Oh, well, 4K isn't a big deal. I like my 1080p." Like, man, please, just stop the nonsense, okay? This console is going to be amazing. I can't wait. But yeah, I'm expecting a huge multi-platform presence on that console. But the first-party games are going to be amazing. And getting back to what Microbox of X said about Forza 5 when it dropped on the Xbox One, he's right. It was half a game, but my God, that thing looked amazing. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that thing, and I was like, damn. I wasn't able to get the Xbox One at launch like Kid Smooth and all the other big YouTubers, but I got it that March. And when I finally got Rise, Son of Rome home and Forza Motorsport 6, guys, I could not believe the graphic fidelity. So imagine the next leap. I mean, it's a great time to be a gamer.
Yes, it's Rise, Son of Rome still graphically, I think it's one of the top games on the next gen set at the moment, and that was the launch title.
I don't,
Absolutely.
I don't think it's been touched, and I'm not trying to be a fanboy, but there's stuff going on. The use of foliage and middleware like Speed Tree and the water. I mean, it's Crytek. Can you imagine Crytek getting a hold of the Xbox Scorpio? Oh my God!
Yeah, their games always look.
I honestly don't think there has been a nicer looking game for graphical fidelity and just stunning visuals. I mean, I don't care what the P's and Q's are. I'm on about looking at it in front of your eyes.
Yes.
Nothing has come close to that game. That is, without a shadow of a doubt, to date, and I stick by it, the nicest looking game I've ever witnessed.
It is. And I got to tell you guys, not to drag this subject on, but I still can't believe we're at the point now where we have high dynamic range televisions, and we're about to have high dynamic range gaming. And guess where it's happening, guys? It's happening on Xbox. I'm not being an unpaid corporate slave. I'm just trying to tell you what's happening.
I mean, this is something that's cropped up over the past. I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, I was away on holiday last week, but the week before I was away, I mean, we do a podcast and we talk about the Xbox news, and we say it as it is. I mean, we are Xbox fans, whether you want to call us fanboys or what, that's up to you, but we enjoy our brand and we like the brand that we support. But I mean, we were getting some real hate the week before I went on a holiday. We were getting some real shit on some groups on Facebook.
Oh my goodness!
You know, and
weren't we?
Yeah. I mean, and you know, I mean, we do what we do, and we talk about the consoles we enjoy. But yeah, we were getting some shit. I mean, you know, I mean, my videos now, every time I can put it up within about 30 seconds, I've got a dislike straight away. So I've got a Sony fanboy somewhere who's stalking my videos. But you know, at the end of the day, we're here for gaming. You know, and you know, people can hate on us as much as they want, but we are here for gaming. It doesn't matter what brand we're on. So yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up because that was something that was griping me that week, and obviously we didn't have a voice to say it. And you know, Bowen, the Welsh gamer, was getting a lot of it. You know, towards him.
God!
I mean, some of the stuff that was coming towards him that week was just horrendous. But at the end of the day, you know, this is an Xbox podcast. We are 3 Xbox YouTubers. If you don't like Xbox, why the hell are you watching our stuff? Because at the end of the day, I don't watch any Sony stuff. You know, I don't like the Sony console. I don't like the games on the console. I don't like the exclusives. That's why I use the console. But I don't spend my entire day just watching YouTube videos for PlayStation YouTubers. You know, so I don't understand the mentality of the ones that do and come up and watch Xbox.
Listen, I was really upset that Drew, the Welsh gamer, who I consider you guys my mates now, I was upset that he was in these groups and these guys were attacking him because he's been nothing but nice to me. Okay, you want to call me an idiot? Oh, that guy Erock 8150, he's an idiot. I know I'm an idiot. Tell me something new. but leave my mates alone, man. Come on, they haven't done anything to you. Jesus, it's just gaming.
I didn't even know we got onto this subject now. What did you bring up, Bowen, that brought us onto this subject? So I just went on a tangent then.
No. Well, we were talking about the Scorpio and the development side of it, but I mean.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I mean, it has been getting attacked, hasn't it? I mean, the fanboys have been getting onto it and attacking it, and there's been all sorts of crap that's said about it. So I think we've been doing this long enough now. We're used to it, aren't we? You know,
Yeah.
we've been around.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought it up though, because I mean, I don't stay up night crying over it. I mean, like, in the last week, I've left about 3 or 4 groups because it's just so much hassle. It is literally like post for post, just people either stalking your accounts or dissing you or calling you this, calling you that. At the end of the day, I'm an open book. I'm an Xbox fan. My channel's a pro Xbox channel. The odd video I do covers an array of like different topics, but end of the day, I'm a very honest cat. I say it as it is. I call bullshit when I see it. I call hypocrisy when I see it, and that's on both sides. I mean, look at my library of videos. Like, some of my videos, I'm dissing games that I love, like Halo 5. I'm dissing the Cortana dashboard update because, you know, I'm not like loyal to Microsoft. Like, no, I will not say a bad word about you, sir. You know, like I will say whatever's on my mind, and if you don't like it, there's a handy little button under my videos called subscribe. If you want to click off it and then subscribe, then fucking fuck off. I don't care. But there we go. But no, you are right.
Yeah. If you're thinking we're like these mega fanboys, you got the wrong people, because as you guys know, a few videos ago, I was actually demanding that Phil Spencer step down. Of course, I was wrong. I had to apologize, but you know, we call it like it is sometimes, right or wrong. But we're not these flag waving fanboys. You know,
I know it's not like Microsoft can't do anything wrong. We know they can. We witnessed it. 2013 was an absolute disaster.
Oh my god.
You know, we'll call it as we see it. But these fanboys, man, like well, not even fanboys that I don't even know. It's just makes a mockery of it all. It's just like, oh god.
It's not just in gaming, it seems to be on everything these days. I mean, me and Erock were discussing this on the microfilm. I mean, it's with movies as well. The hate that movies seem to get these days. It's just in everything general, and I think it's because everything's so readily available and so accessible with social media and the internet now. I think it's just the way that things have gone now. Well, let's face it, if it wasn't like that, I mean, we wouldn't have our way of doing our podcasts and our YouTube videos and things, so...
True.
Anyway, let's change the subject now. I've had enough of talking about them. We don't want to give them a voice. I know I should pass over to you, Erock, now, but I just want to talk about one thing, and this was going to be my next on the list, but you know, Bowen, he can't wait. He has to butt in.
Oh no, you guys have all the subjects, man. I'm just feeding off of you guys tonight, man.
Oh right, well, what are we going to do for the other half of the show if you've got nothing?
I got an idea, Micro. If you go off your list, and if I've got something on my list that we haven't covered and you haven't, then we'll go to my list. But
well, I've got a few other things I want to talk about, and then but I'll do this one, and then you go over to you, mate. That's not a problem. I wanted to talk about Batman.
Oh, there we are.
I wanted to talk about Telltale's Batman, episode 1 that dropped whilst I was on holiday. You gits, why did you drop it then? Anyway,
I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad they did.
Oh yeah, to rub it in, right? I come home, I installed the game, episode 1, Telltale Batman, and I have to say they blew me away.
Wow.
I have to say they blew me away. I just, it was the type of gameplay I was expecting from playing. You know, the zombie one's got completely out of my head now. The Walking Dead. It was what I was expecting from playing The Walking Dead, but to be in a Batman universe, and the great acting, great story. The story has just got me great. I can't wait for episode 2. There was a couple of little glitches here and there graphically, but other than that, I was very impressed. I mean, it was an easy 8.5 out of 10 for me, that first episode. I won't say too much about it because I don't want to give anything away story-wise for anybody who hasn't played it. But if you like Batman and if you like the Telltale games, you've got to get it. It's just incredible. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I played it from start to finish. I couldn't put the damn thing down. I was like, "Whoa, that can't be it. Where's the rest?"
Wow.
Have you played it, E-Rock? Have you played it yet?
Oh, excuse me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I've seen the game. I've seen Drew's videos. The game looks good. I actually have a backlog of video games that I'm trying to get to now. I've only just gotten to Chapter 2 of Sierra Games' King's Quest. I've only gotten to Chapter 2 of that. That's a great game. And I just recently got Star Wars Battlefield for 25 quid. So I think that's $25. That's $25 American, right? I've just gotten Battlefield. So if you're giving Batman a rave review, I'm all about it. But Telltale Games, when have they not delivered? So that's on my list next.
That's very true. Yeah, that is very true. I mean, I haven't played many of their games. I've played the Walking Dead one, but I didn't play Game of Thrones, and I didn't play the Minecraft one because it didn't really interest me. But the fact that they were doing a Batman one, it had my interest as soon as it was announced, and they delivered.
Can I ask a question?
Mm.
Is he actually doing detective work in this game?
Yes, there's detective work. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I won't say how it's done, but it's very clever. Yeah. But you've played it, Bowen, haven't you?
Oh man, literally. I think I'm gonna have to change my my picture to a picture of my Welsh dragon with a Batman hat on or something. I think because no, honest to God, I cannot speak highly of it enough. I'm like, as you guys know, I am a huge fan of Telltale. Huge. The only Telltale game I played though was The Walking Dead. I mean, I haven't touched anything else, but The Walking Dead games are up there, my favorite games of all time. But I love what Telltale do with their games, like how they do them, the mechanics, the narrative, just I can't put my finger on what is so good about Telltale. But if you haven't, but with this Batman game, do you know what? That first episode had me completely glued. I was like the detective stuff. Like I said, E-Rock, and like Michael said, we won't ruin it for the viewers and for yourself. But how they done it, it was just like so good. It was so good how they done the detective side of things, all the options, how you searched around this canvas and like all the possibilities, dissecting this and this. Unbelievable. Really put you in the shoes of what Batman, what it might have been like to be Batman. But at the same time, do you know what I really liked, Micro? And I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah.
The heavy narrative on Bruce Wayne. Like,
yes.
You actually got to know the man behind the mask, opposed to just the man. Like, when you watch a Batman movie, I mean, especially when you're a youngster, you're like, God, when are we going to see him in the bloody suit? But like, but this, it was like, you saw a lot of them in the suit, yeah, and it was exciting. And again, E-Rock just throwing this out there, the fighting stuff was wicked as well. Very well done.
Wow.
But I really thoroughly enjoyed the Bruce Wayne story as well, if not a bit more than playing as Batman. I can't wait for the next episode. And the fact is that there's 6 episodes, not what I originally thought of, which was 3. So I'm buzzing. Great game, phenomenal.
I would have been gutted if there was only 3 episodes.
It looks so good. The cliffhanger's amazing.
I just hope they do a season 2. I can see this being quite big for them because of obviously there's a massive DC fan base and there's a big demand for games like this.
Drew, sorry guys, Drew. While we're on the subject of Telltale Games, while you're waiting for Batman episode 2 to come out, I don't know if you played it yet, but Telltale Games has this masterpiece out called The Wolf Among Us. Dude,
yes.
Dude,
yeah, I'll have to try that. I got it downloaded.
Dude, you can finish it in a week, dude. It's excuse my language, guys. It's fucking. I gotta curse. It's fucking phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Well, you get your ass on Batman, and I'll get my ass on Wolf Among Us. So I'll do like that.
Yes, that sounds good. It sounds good.
Yeah. You'll love it. You'll love it, E-Rock. Honestly, unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
I'm a huge Batman fan, and one of the biggest complaints from Batman fans, Batman aficionados, is he hasn't done enough detective work in his movies or his games. So that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, there was more so in the Arkham Asylum game, wasn't there? I mean, they started really bringing it in there, which was good. But no, I mean, they've never really showed that side of Batman, and it is one of his main things, you know, the fact that he can do all this chemistry and do all this detective work, and they've never really shown it very well. This game, I think they are taking it in that direction. You've got the detective work, the character integration, the character interaction with all the other characters, the great cast, great acting. And the story's top notch. I mean, it always is with Telltale's games. Anyway, they always seem to be able to nail the story. But this one's really got me gripped, and I can't wait for the second episode. It was like, no, this can't be this. How's this happening? And it's actually got me thinking. I can't see anything about the story because I don't want to give anything away. But I'm actually watching it, thinking this can't be true. You know, but
that's what I love about Telltale, though. That's what I love about them. They always do this to me with Walking Dead. You know, you play an episode and then it finishes, the credits roll, and you're like, what? every time without fail, you're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, anybody out there that's watching, if you haven't played it and you like Batman or you like the Telltale games, you've got to give it a go. Seriously, it is definitely worth checking out. It's so easy to forget. You know, we're here talking like we do, and I think we sometimes forget that there are actually people listening. It's very easy to do, isn't it? So no, I mean, everybody that's out there, you've really got to give this game a go and try it out, because it is the business. Yeah, so no, E-Rock, you've got to get it. Bowen, we're going to have to wait for season 2. But like E-Rock said, you've got to play The Wolf Among Us as well. Very good. That was done on the old Fables, wasn't it, E-Rock?
Yeah, a comic book called Fables, and the game was just really well done. I was really impressed. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be at all. Very dark, humorous, and the
yes,
art was
very much
just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing I like about the Telltale games, and the Batman game is like it as well. I mean, it's very adult. It's an adult storyline.
Yeah.
And it's very dark. And if I remember rightly, I think there was some language in it as well.
Yeah. Just they're the best. They're the best of the best, man. They're up there with Rockstar and Naughty Dog, as far as I'm concerned. They're amazing.
Oh, absolutely. You have my vote on that one. Absolutely. I mean, with this Batman game, I'm confident even if you despised Batman as a DC character, you would love this game. Like, that is how good it is. That is how heavily invested I am in the story already. I could not put the controller down, E-Rock, honest. It was brilliant.
Wow.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people might claim that I'm biased for some reason towards Batman. I don't know why. But you know,
I know, no clue.
You've got Bo in there who's not even played an Arkham game. I mean, how anybody from modern day gaming has not played an Arkham game on their 360, I'll never know. But I think that's going to be the next project. After we've got him on the movies, right? We're going to get him on some games.
I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much.
There we go.
Oh God! Right, so I'll hand it over to you now. Then, Bowen, what is it you would like to talk to today? Or talk about, not talk to.
Oh, right. No, I thought you were going to go through your list first. And
No,
if I had
I've only got a few other things, which is releases and things. So I'll let you have your.
Okie dokie. This is one that I definitely want to talk about, or at least get your opinion on. Basically, as we all know, Microsoft openly, threw out there that they're willing to do cross-device network play. So, playing like PlayStation versus Xbox on Xbox Live, and PlayStation Network cross network.
Rocket football, is it Rocket?
Yeah. Well, Rocket League devs already responded yes, like ages ago. They said ages ago, like, yeah, we're ready to do it, no problem. But Sony, over there at Sony, said they're not interested. For the players, right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's what it said.
This is for the players, but no, you're not playing with your mates over at Xbox. But Microsoft, the developers for the new Tekken game have made it known that they are also interested in doing this cross-network thing. So basically, I could be playing up against Bob across the road who's got a PlayStation while playing on my Xbox, if that's what people want to do. But Sony have said no again. They have already said no and given some kind of excuse for why they can't do it. So I just wanted to know your thoughts, guys. If you can relate to Sony and you understand why they keep declining this offer, or do you think that it's stupid and they should do it, or what's your thoughts on that? Or what's your opinion on the cross-network? Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea? Just run with it, go with it.
This is something that gamers have been after for some time, and many times have I had people say, well, wouldn't it be cool if they could do cross-play? And I've always said, well, they couldn't do it because of the coding. We're at a point now where the developers can do it. And I don't understand why a company like PlayStation, whose main slogan is for the players, would block something like this. And they've done it before. I mean, they turned around with EA Access and said, oh, we don't want it. We don't want EA Access. EA Access is bad value for money. They did it with multiplayer when PlayStation 3 dropped. It didn't have multiplayer. Oh, well, gamers don't want multiplayer. Gamers want these things. Gamers want these functions. Not everybody is, sort of at each other's throats arguing about the console they play on. And people want to be able to play with their friends, whether, depending on, it shouldn't matter what console they're on. If they're all in the same game and you've got the actual ability to do cross-play, then why not do it? I just don't understand it. If Microsoft are for it, and, I just do not understand the mentality of Sony's sort of business sense. There doesn't seem to be any. It's like, screw everybody else. We want to dominate gaming. We want to dominate the gamers. We're going to dictate to the gamers what they want and not listen to them at all. And that's it. And that's just their mentality, and I just do not understand it. I do not understand it.
No, that's definitely what it comes across as. It's almost like, maybe if this option was available back in the 360 era, I reckon they might have jumped onto it, no problem. But I do believe, as we've discussed, with the unprofessionalism of all these developers and executives, and not to mention the fanboy base, but I do think ego has gotten to these Sony executives a bit. No doubt they've absolutely blitzed in terms of unit sales, but it's almost like they feel this is the impression I get. It's almost like they're threatened by this. People might not feel the need to get a PlayStation if the option is there to play with their friends on PlayStation over at their Xbox. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, no, we're blocking this because if you want to play with your friends on PlayStation, you've got to get your ass over and buy yourself a PlayStation. Instead of, whereas Microsoft, on the other hand, we just said this before, they don't care about unit sales. If you're on a PlayStation and there's a chance for you to play your friends on the Xbox, they're for it because they are gamers over there, and they are for the gamers. They're more for the gamers than PlayStation, absolutely.
I do wonder, and this is just something I was just thinking about. I do wonder whether that Sony worried that it would show the weaknesses in their online multiplayer. That's what I think. He's gone again.
I got a
stole the words out of my mouth before you guys even asked me. Take it away, E-Rock.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I just do. I think that it would just show the weaknesses in their multiplayer so badly. And
I never even gave that a thought, to be honest, but that makes so much sense. But
it's not gonna happen. The fans want it. The Sony ponies, as much as they hate us, they would love it. It would open up a whole new avenue for cross-play and gaming in general. Imagine playing Battlefield 1 on the Xbox One and multiplayer versus your enemies over in PlayStation Land. It'd be amazing. Street Fighter, whatever, Tekken, but it's not going to happen. Sony is not going to expose any weaknesses. They're not going to do that. Microsoft has the Azure servers that work perfectly, and Sony doesn't. And Sony isn't going to pay to get better servers or go to Microsoft to say, hey, man, help us fix our server problem. Help us fix our server issues. People have to understand this. And once my good friend Jay Adeloye, he kind of yelled at me about this. It's not a racial thing when I say that Nintendo and Sony, especially Sony, are still a very Japanese company. stuck in the mode of thinking where we're not going to adopt new technologies, we're not going to adopt new thought processes. The new thought process is the gamers want crossplay. That's what they want.
Yeah.
So you as being for the player and being a company in the 21st century, you find a way to make that happen. Sony's not going to do it because it exposes one of the PlayStation's biggest weakness, and that's their network. So there it is. That's why they keep turning it down. I'll be surprised if they ever say, yeah, okay, let's do it. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
No, not me. When the rumours started coming out that this was a possibility, I thought, no, it'll never happen. I thought Microsoft may go for it. I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought Sony would definitely not go for that at all. Not in a million years.
Guys, you know what's kind of cool about American companies and even United Kingdom companies? Every once in a while we can say, we kind of fucked that up last year. Okay, we learned. You guys hated Batman vs Superman. You guys hated DRM. Okay, we kind of botched that. We're going to fix it now. They will not do that over in Nintendo and Sony land. It's just not happening. They will never admit they made a mistake by not investing in a better server infrastructure. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, you're going to keep seeing these developers say, yeah, we want cross-platform play, and you're going to keep hearing Sony say, nah, we don't want to go in that direction.
No, you're completely right, guys. And you both raised points that I hadn't even considered. But it's very true. I mean, I didn't give that one thought, because, I mean, think about it. When you look at like games like Assassin's Creed Unity, the amount of hate Xbox got because of the parity with graphics, we bottleneck this, we bottleneck that. When it comes to the network now, the comparison between Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, there is no comparison. It's David and Goliath. It is man versus giant. Like, end of the day, the second, if PlayStation did give the thumbs up, yeah, Call of Duty, we'll do cross-network. We'll just say Call of Duty hypothetically. Imagine how much, like you said, exposure Sony at the Sony camp they would get if, like, every single game when you jump into a match with PlayStation people, it's just lagging and it's jumping, and or if their servers are down, it might affect the whole game for everybody. Like you know, when they're down for maintenance, it might turn, you know, Call of Duty might be down for the day because PS4 is down for maintenance. You don't know. It could have a huge domino effect. And I don't think they want to, like you said, the more I think about it, I don't think they want to put themselves out there for that kind of exposure, potentially.
Could you imagine the embarrassment of Sony's network trying to connect and cross-play with those Azure servers? It'd be like those old computers on the Enterprise in Star Trek, working. This is not. It's not going to happen, mate.
No, you guys are completely right. Fair dues.
See that our age is showing in our experience.
Yeah. Just because you're around with dialect, don't brother.
You joke about these things, but I was.
Well, we've already discussed your BreezeBlock mobile phone. Let's have a conversation about dial-up internet, shall we? Let's do this.
Oh man.
23 and 1/4, mate. 23 and 1/4. Leave me be.
56
kilobytes a second was the fastest you could get on that.
Gosh, it's hard to believe we lived through those dark ages, man. But you were technologically advanced if you had that back in the day.
You were. I didn't have broadband until I was, well, it wasn't broadband. I didn't have the internet until I was 21. Kids have it 5 now. Oh dear. What are we doing? Where have we come from? Well, we know where we come from. It's where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right then. Have you finished on that subject then, Bowen? Have we discussed that to the fullest potential?
Yeah. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, guys, because it just seems to be a reoccurring thing. We had Rocket League, and now the Tekken developer has come out and said, I mean, like, really, it's in every developer's interest, especially on the multi-plat side of things. For cross-network, it just opens things up. It gets more people involved in games and stuff.
Well, it gives more people on the games, you know. I mean, some games...
Yeah, definitely.
Not as popular as others, so they don't have a base gamers on them, and players. So it just opens it all up.
It's a brilliant subject he brought up, and amazingly, no one's talking about it.
I didn't even know about the Tekken. I didn't know about that at all. I mean, that's just mad for them to just turn around and say no to the developers of Tekken. No, bizarre.
No, it's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Right. Okay. So, what have you got next on your list, then, Bowen?
Right. I have Quantum Break. Now, as we know, it's a great game. I loved Quantum Break, but as we know, it didn't sell all that well. And being that it was a Windows 10 exclusive to Xbox and PC, that was sort of it was an exclusive on our platform, on our ecosystem. But from September 14th, it's going to be hitting Steam on the PC. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, guys, because the more I think about it, usually, if it was, say, for example, I don't know, take any given, like Gears of War, for example, that's going to be cross-play between PC and Xbox via Windows 10. If that went to Steam, I'd be a bit like, whoa, what's the crack? But with Quantum Break, I actually, frankly, don't blame the guys at Remedy for doing this, because the sales were so piss poor. End of the day, they got to make their money, they got to feed their kids. So I mean, they're just obviously, I can imagine they're doing this to try and get some money for it on Steam.
I don't see it as an issue personally. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a Microsoft product. It's going to be gaming on. They're going to be playing it on a Microsoft product. We've got to get out of this this thought of that's a PC and that's that's an Xbox console. They're basically run by the same company. I mean, whatever PC gamers might say about Xbox, at the end of the day, they're fundamentally playing on a form of Xbox anyway, because it's run by Microsoft's bloody operating system. So I mean, they can slag off Microsoft all they like, but every time they switch their PC on, they see the Microsoft logo. So I haven't got issues with games going to PC. I mean, to me, it just opens it up, and obviously with cross-play and the fact that you can buy one game and you get it on both systems, and you can go off and play it elsewhere. I think it's great. I know that Sony are looking at some kind of cross-play, aren't they? They're looking at some way of doing that with PCs now, but it'd be interesting to see how that goes. But no, I haven't got an issue with it. I mean, I was under the impression that Quantum Break will be going to PC anyway. I'm sure after its release, or just before its release, they said it was going to PC. The more people that can play these games, the better. Because I mean, it's a great game. I don't understand the sales. It was a case of, I've said this before, that Sony gamers don't always support their exclusives, but this was a case of Xbox gamers didn't support the exclusives, and I don't understand why. Because it was a great game. It was really good, really well developed, great story, amazing graphics and playability, and it was really intriguing. And the fact that they incorporated this TV series into the game as well, it was groundbreaking, really. I mean, there's been nothing like it, really. Incorporated in what was a very good TV series, I might add, as well. It wasn't some crappy sort of video CD game like we used to get on the on the old Sega CDs or anything. This was this is really well acted, really well presented, a high sort of production value TV show set in between each episode of the game. So yeah, I just do not understand why that game did not sell as well as I thought it would. It's a bizarre one.
No, I still can't believe how little it sold. I mean, I can't remember the exact figure, but I mean, we don't need to know the exact figure. We know that it did not sell nearly as much as I think everyone was expecting it, and pretty much I can imagine it's as much as they were expecting it, because the production value on it was astronomical. The acting in it, the TV show, it must have cost an absolute bomb to put that game together. I can't see why. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, like, I know the installed base on the Xbox isn't up there with the PlayStation, but it's not exactly small. And the percentage of people that actually went out and bought Quantum Break, I mean, I bought it day one, and what a fantastic game. I mean, I'll put my hand up and say, like, it's not my game of the year. It's not my ultimate, it's not the best thing since sliced bread, but it was a very, very good game and well worth the purchase. And the fact that it didn't sell, I mean, just baffles me, because it's not like it's not appealing either. Like, even just to look at from a distance, like, I'd think, wow, I want to give that a go. But just seems nobody was interested, really. It's a shame, really. It is a shame, because Remedy are a very good company.
When you look at their pedigree and what they've put out in the past, very, very good developers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't understand it. Really don't. I mean, what's your thoughts on it, E-Rock? Have you played it?
So I played it back in April, and I was very impressed with it. It was a fantastic game, like you guys said. Great graphics and a great concept. I was shocked that it didn't sell as many copies as I thought it should have. And I think the problem with Quantum Break was that it was just too forward-thinking. It was just too ahead of the curve with the story, the nonlinear story, the time manipulation. The TV show shot in amazing high quality. I mean, this was a high quality game with great graphics, great acting by an amazing cast, and it was something we had never seen before. But once again, we're falling into this trap where gamers are stuck. I think are stuck in a rut of shooters, like the big game. Yeah, I just got it for $25, but yeah, I waited for it to come down to $25. The big game that everybody was talking about last fall and into this new year was Star Wars Battlefield. It's just that cut and dry, man. It looks like gamers now, and not all gamers, but gamers just don't want to think anymore. So now Quantum Break's going to be sold on Steam, and all these PC gamers who talk shit about it, they're going to buy it now. And a lot of these PC gamers who say that there are these intellectuals and forward thinkers, we're going to see now, hopefully, how much Quantum Break is appreciated. I don't get why the Xbox crowd didn't gravitate towards it the way they gravitated towards Call of Duty, my God, and Star Wars Battlefield. But, I mean, I'm glad that the game's going to get a second lease on life on Steam. I thought Quantum Break was amazing. I love the work those guys do there. And Sam Lake, man, look, just do not be deterred. Keep on doing good work. Give us Alan Wake 2, I think it is. Just don't give up, man.
Oh no, they were. I mean, they'll always be doing great games. One thing I did, but I don't like correcting people. It's Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, Star Wars Battlefront. My bad. Guys, we've been playing these shooting games for so long. It becomes a burp. Battlefield, Battlefront, Call of Battlefield. It's just, oh my God.
I hate correcting people, and I was thinking, I can't let him call it Battlefield all night because people are just going to say, you guys don't even know what your games you're talking about yet.
man. Oh, Michael.
Look at Drew. See, this makes my days entertaining, man.
He's gone.
He's gone.
The thing is, though, I was thinking as well, like, it's Battlefront. It is. And then I let the man speak, and then you piped up, and like, I gotta tell you what.
Hey guys, let's be for real. If you shot one dude in World War II or shot 5 dudes on Tatooine, you shot somebody. So Battlefield, Battlefront, whatever.
No, can I quickly touch on something that we rock before I laugh too much and I completely forget? But you basically said, you made your point about Quantum Break being too ahead of the curve, being too advanced for your average gamer. And obviously, like, why do people gravitate towards such things as Star Wars Battlefield?
Taking the piss now, E-Rock, just ignore him.
Call of Duty, your Battlefields and stuff like that. It's like it really does make you think, like, are we as a gaming community failing these developers who want to go that extra mile?
Yes.
Because we're dumbing ourselves down. Like you
yes.
said, like, you get the masses who are playing Call of Duty, even though it's the same recycled, boring, run and gun, crap, bollocks, shooter shit. Thank you, I appreciate that. But then you've got someone at Remedy who's designed, developed, and articulated this absolute masterpiece. And by the way, as for that TV show, that could be a TV show on its own. It was that good. Like, but no one's buying it because they see the trailer and they think, ooh, that's a bit too much going on there. I don't think I'm just going to stick with my Call of Duty and just shoot some kids who are calling me a fatty on the Xbox Live chat. Honestly, honestly, E-Rock, you touched on an excellent point, which really has been something that's been floating in my mind for a while. Some of these games, I just think that the reason they have no hope at succeeding, not so much no hope of succeeding, but they don't sell as much as they'd like, is simply because they're a bit too complex for your average gamer. That's literally it. Where people are intimidated by the fact that there's a lot more going on than just running around in a circle shooting some teenagers. But yeah, no, it's sad. It's a sad truth. But like you said, I hope they get the success they deserve with this new stream thing happening in September.
I hope so too, man. It was the same thing with Alan Wake. Alan Wake was really ahead of the curve, and I just don't know, man. I can't figure gamers out anymore, and I guess neither can the developers.
No, they can't win, mate. It's like as a gamer, for me, I do love jumping on my Halos and a decent Call of Duty. I'll just say that much. Battlefield 1, I'm looking forward to. Star Wars Battlefield, I really like. Still playing
You're never going to live that one down now, right? We're going to be calling Battlefield 1 Battlefront 1.
But at the same time, I love it when they jump the gun and do something totally different. That's what I like. But a lot of people are too scared to try new things. And it boils down to that. People are afraid of change. People are afraid of new, exciting experiences.
And I think that's probably why you're finding developers are less likely to take risks like Quantum Break.
Well, we were saying that when Wingy was on, wasn't it? Remember? We were saying that, risks equal, like Wingy said, risks equal possible loss. And that's not what developers are into. And when you look at a game like Quantum Break, which in theory should have been one of the best-selling games ever made, wasn't, because it was a risk. There was a lot involved, and a lot of people, it probably intimidated. They probably thought, "No, I don't want to get involved in all that. It's too much going on. I'd rather just run and shoot."
Some people probably didn't like the episodic sides of it as well. The fact that you had to watch a half-an-hour episode between each chapter of the game.
And not to keep harping on this game over and over again, but wasn't the acting extremely well done? Ashton, whatever his name is, as the main character, that gentleman from Game of Thrones is the villain, and his henchman, that black gentleman, everything was so well acted. I was playing that game and I was like, wow, they really went the extra mile with this game.
They nailed it. They nailed it.
And nobody bought it. I don't know.
No, it's crazy. I don't get it. I mean, people want new IPs. People are screaming left, right, and centre. New IPs, new IPs, new IPs. But why would anyone invest in new IPs when you ain't fucking buying it?
Exactly. Hit the nail on the head. Exactly. They want to play Star Wars Battlefield. I don't understand. I don't get it. And I'm guilty, but at least I waited for it to drop down to 25 quid. So whatever.
No, it's true though. I mean, you do get people saying that there's not been enough new IPs and new styles of game. Games that are pushing the systems in new directions. But then the games like Quantum Break do drop and they don't sell, and they are trying new things. They are trying to make things more, just make more interesting titles that can take full advantage of a more powerful system. The sort of advantages and things that you would expect to see from a next-gen console. You want to see new ways of doing things, but they're doing it and they're not getting supported. So, and then that's what's making developers like Activision say, "Well, just sod it. We'll just put another Call of Duty out. We used the same engine we did 10 years ago. Just put it out there, buy it. We know they'll buy it. Let's just do it." So, that's where it happens. That's where we get these games. But it's a shame because there's games out there that aren't Call of Duty that you would like to see more of that we don't see. Games like, for example, Mass Effect. We're still waiting for the new Mass Effect. I'd love to see that drop soon. Fable. I mean, what a great franchise for Xbox, and it's as it stands at the moment, it's not. We're never going to see it again.
So sad.
Gentlemen, hear this. I guarantee you. Oh, I'm really stretching here, but I have a feeling.
You're sitting down, but carry on.
I really have a feeling that come Scorpio, there'll be an announcement. I can guarantee, I can see it now. Look at 343 Industries. Microsoft bought, made, and created that development team just for Halo. Look at the Coalition. Black Tusk Studio, bought by Microsoft, renamed the Coalition just for Gears of War. What's the only other massive, apart from Forza, of course, but what's the only other massive AAA exclusive we have on the Xbox as like a signature game, flagship game for Xbox that has been with us since the original Xbox? Fable. Scorpio, new console, new name, new specs, new monster. I guarantee you, behind closed doors, they probably already have a team called something else. It'll be called like Lion Tail Studios or something, just for just a hypothetical sense. And I bet you they are working on a Fable 4 or a Fable reboot for the Scorpio.
I agree with what you're saying.
Hopeful.
I agree with what you're saying, but I would prefer Microsoft to take a real thing and give it to Rare. I'd like Rare to get hold of Fable.
Well, maybe Rare. I mean, I'm just speaking hypothetical.
Yeah.
Let's just for argument's sake say Rare. But either way, whatever the case, I guarantee you there's a team working on a Fable reboot for the Scorpio. You can hold me to that. It's on record now. It's on record.
It is, because I'm not deleting it, and I'm going to throw it back at you in 12 minutes' time.
Yeah, well, it's not there, and I'm crying in my sleep. Like, no, Fable,
I'd be very surprised if Microsoft and the Xbox team allowed a game like Fable to die. I was very surprised when they shelved Fable Legends, but I could understand their decision. I mean, it's been so long in development, it was cost them a fortune, and then it was a game that wasn't going to be a charged for game anyway. It was free to play.
Yeah.
So I could sort of understand their decision, but I think for the Xbox brand to lose Fable completely would be a big mistake.
It would. It'd be a huge loss. I mean, Fable, that was one of the cornerstones of the original Xbox. One of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had. One of the first games other than Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, that I played straight through from beginning to end. I was on the edge of my seat going through Litchfield Cemetery when my character got sent to prison. I mean, Fable was just an experience. For them to borrow the words of the wrestler Matt Hardy, for Microsoft and Xbox to delete Fable is a mistake. Bring back Fable, please. Please.
Absolutely.
I mean, the thing is, they're not the most difficult games to play. They are challenging, but they're not overly challenging. God bloody hell, I had a stroke then. They're not overly challenging. They're just fun games, and everybody likes them. You know, children like them, parents like them, older people like playing them because they're just fun games to play. And I know a whole generation. I mean, my mother's played Fable. My kids play Fable. I play Fable. You know, it's a cross-generation. Everybody enjoys them. I've recently introduced Fable to my partner's son, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it. Yeah, I want Fable. I don't know how we got onto Fable, but I want Fable.
Yeah, you're not alone.
No, it will happen. I guarantee you. Like sooner or later. The end of the day, Microsoft, I can commend them so much, but on this much I can commend them 100%, is just the way they listen to gamers, the way they know what people want. Look at the Scorpio. The Scorpio is a result of all the hate and the love for Xbox, and that is the baby that has come out the other end of it. And you know, like people have been screaming for a new Fable, and that was even before Lionhead went down and you know Fable Legends went bust. People have been screaming for a new installment of the Fable franchise. Microsoft would be absolute fools not to listen and do that. They would be fools. And I know better than that. I know that they won't. I know that they'll absolutely 110%. I reckon when the Scorpio is out, we'll have an announcement. Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind.
Phil Spencer's not stupid. He knows what's what, and I'd be very surprised if we don't see one. I was very surprised what they did with the studio. I don't understand why they closed the studio the way they did. That's the only thing I don't understand about it. There must have been some
I reckon it was just production. Like, end of the day, if you're paying someone to wash your windows every week, and they're not, and every week you look out your window to see if it's been washed and there's still the muddy handprint that was left there 3 months ago, you're gonna fucking ring them up and say, yeah, I don't want your business anymore. Fuck off.
Yeah, but I mean, they own the developer though, didn't they? And I mean, Lionhead's got a huge history, even before, you know, way back before the Xbox even existed.
Yeah.
So to close a studio like that with such a big name and such a heritage and, you know, such a history, that I found puzzling. I mean, yeah, all right, scrap the game and get them working on something else, but maybe it was because of the time that we would need to get them onto another project. It was easier to get a project moving and then bring a team in to do it. Who knows? Nobody understands the politics and what goes on behind the scenes. And you can just sort of speculate. Nobody knows other than the Xbox guys and the team at Xbox at Microsoft.
What was even more painful was when Lionhead Studios was closed down and Fable Legends was canceled. Looking at the comments in the comment sections on Facebook and on YouTube, are all these people talking about, well, they were taking too long, they weren't producing, you have to produce now or you end up being fired. And my question is, have any of you ever played Fable and seen its brilliance or gotten lost in a game? Please, with your comments. If you're not going to help the situation and get on a boat and go over to London, England and help out Lionhead Studios, then silence. I'm tired of all these negative comments and all of this hatred on Facebook and on YouTube from these nobodies who have no plans to do anything, unlike Jay Adeloye, who went and developed a game for you to play. I'm just tired of all the negativity, Drew and Microbox of X.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm on record saying, like, you know, like you just heard me then about production and stuff, but you are right. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, speaking to Jay was a huge insight into how development works. There's so much involved, even down to the release date, like when you want to release your game because of other games that are out. There's just so much going on, more than we'll ever know unless we ever get into that line of work. And it's one thing for me, you, or any other Joe blogs to say, oh, these motherfuckers, get the game out already.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you don't know what's behind closed doors. You know, we'll never know. We'll never know.
No idea.
Well, I mean, you've only got to look at. I mean, a good example is it. What's that bloody game that's come out this week? The PlayStation game.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Look at the hate and the attacks aimed at that developer because they postponed the game because they wanted to get the game right. But if they'd released it before they got it right, and they'd have had the same attacks for putting a buggy game out.
I actually did a video about that before, Micro. I'm glad you brought that up because I did a video about that a few months back when all the Sony fanboys were like crying, basically saying how the I imagine they were sending death threats to the developer or something in their typical fashion, just because they delayed it. And I did a video basically saying, like, didn't we have this the other year with Uncharted 4? People moaning, crying, like openly shouting out their disgust. And, you know, you weren't complaining when Uncharted came out, however many months later, when it was the finished product. End of the day, delays happen for a reason. These developers don't do it for shits and giggles. They don't do it so they can go on a 2-week holiday in Benidorm. They do it because it's necessary. Like, a game, it's like, oh, we could go, you know, I know we said it's coming out on the 14th of this month, but it's not going to be ready for that date. Let's give ourselves another 2 months and it should be polished. And I firmly believe in delays. I've stuck by that for a long time. A lot of people might call me a damage controlling fanboy and blah, 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 but I don't care what platform you're on. Like you said, Micro, a delay is never a bad thing. And, like, the hate these guys received, and it's like, you know, I'm sure people will be happy now the game's out, but if they'd released it back then, it might not be the game it is now.
No. I mean, I haven't seen any of the reviews for the game yet. I've seen a bit of.
The reviews have been pretty poor. me and E-Rock were talking about it earlier. It's across the board. All I've heard is how much of a snooze fest it is.
Yeah, I've seen that people have said it's dull, but I mean I haven't seen any game footage and I haven't watched any reviews or anything. But I have caught on Twitter and on groups that the game is quite a snore fest. But how true that is, I don't know. I can't say. I haven't played it, so.
Well, no, true. We can't say much on it ourselves, but I mean, just based on what people have said. But no, yeah, it's like I mean, to look at it, I mean, it does kind of resemble for me, like Ark Survival Evolved had a baby with Elite Dangerous. That's the kind of thing it looks like to me. It kind of looks like an exploration space sort of like thing, like. But like
Yeah.
you can pick it, you analyze rocks and build things. I suppose. I mean, like it's not my kind of thing, but but obviously there is a market out there. Like we were discussing before, games like Minecraft and Ark Survival Evolved and 7 Ways to Die. Games like that are aimed at a specific type of gamer, and big ups to you if you enjoy No Man's Sky. But a lot of people, I think, are so hungry for an exclusive because they're always banging on about exclusives over there. They thought, oh, wicked, No Man's Sky is out. Finally, another exclusive for PlayStation. They've gone out and bought it, and it's not their thing. And they're just slating it, saying it's a snore fest. It's like, well, maybe you should have done your research before you bought the damn thing.
Woo! Drew pulls no punches.
Oh, mate, I just say it as it is, mate.
He's from the valleys. He's from the valleys, but they're wild. You got to keep them under lock and key.
Mate, why do you think I'm on the Carlsberg while in the middle of the podcast?
I mean, he just so. Oh man, he just so perfectly hit that on. Some people to keep the fuel going in this console war, they're so starved. Yes, I will be the first to admit there are some Xbox One exclusives I have not brought because they have not interested me. But there are some people in this console space who are so starved to have an exclusive and that bragging right in the console war that they'll buy a game that's not suited for them just so they could say that I've got the next exclusive, and then they go on and slate the game. This is unthinkable to me.
No, it's so true. It's so true. It's funny you brought up No Man's Sky though, Micro, because my next topic is about No Man's Sky once we finish talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to talk about, isn't it? But I mean, the one thing I will say though, I mean, we've got Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is from the team Frontier. They've got a huge history in this type of game. I mean, we had Elite and Elite Frontier on the Amiga and the Apple, not the Apple, sorry, the BBC Micro. So you know, these guys go way back with this type of game. Comparing the two, I mean, I can't believe it. I didn't actually realise that No Man's Sky was a full. I thought this was an indie title. I didn't realise this was a full-blown release. I mean, I was in Sainsbury's earlier. That game was 47 quid on the shelf.
Wow. I thought it was an indie.
Yeah,
I didn't know it wasn't an indie.
No, they had it in Sainsbury's for 47 quid. And if I wanted a game like that, I would be buying Elite Dangerous, and that game on the Xbox Store from launch was $29.99, and that in my opinion is going to be a far better game than No Man's Sky could ever dream of. And I mean, they keep adding new stuff to Elite Dangerous as well. They're constantly adding new stuff and new ways of playing that game. I mean, you can land on planets and mine and do all sorts of things now. And there's more stuff coming. So yeah, I think they put a lot of eggs in No Man's Sky's basket. and for a game for 47 quid, I'd expect a little bit more. Because I mean, you know, Elite Frontier, you could be there for an hour just flying from one side of the galaxy to the other, not doing anything else. People like that type of game. But is it worth 47 quid? No, I don't think so.
No, well, it's not for me. I can say that much. I mean, even Elite Dangerous, I know it's on the Xbox and people love it, and but like, I'm not just going to go out and buy it just to say I've got it. It's not for me. Like, if that's what you like, that's what you like. But it's not for me personally. But yeah.
No, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, what did you want to bring up about it?
Basically, this is just a general question, really. It's not really in the news or anything, but this is just something I want to talk to you about with you guys, because, like, as we know, the hypocrisy with these Sony fanboys is just relentless. Like, relentless. They're always stepping on their own toes with things that they've said. I mean, take Quantum Break, take Gears of War 4, take Scalebound, take Recall, all these new releases that are coming out. They are going to be on Windows 10 PC, Microsoft exclusive via the Windows 10 ecosystem. What do we constantly hear from PlayStation fanboys on a daily basis about our exclusives?
Oh, you don't have no exclusives. They're going to PC. Oh, you suck.
There we are. I'm going to clap you for that one, E-Rock. I'm going to clap you for that one.
There's too much clapping going on in this show tonight. We're going to have to get some yogurt or something.
Well, E-Rock took it out of my mouth. No Man's Sky, which is a massively hyped up PlayStation exclusive for the Sony fanboys. I mean, all this week, all I've heard is No Man's Sky, best exclusive coming to PlayStation this year. Gonna shit all over Gears. I only saw a post only an hour ago. Honest to God, it's already happening, and the game hasn't been out 2 minutes. And it's going to PC. So I basically am asking the question, like, when will the hypocrisy end? Like, is it good for one person, not good for another? Because the way I see it, it's like, how can you say to us when our games, at the end of the day, yes, they may be going to PC, but they're cross-device, Microsoft's Windows 10, Xbox exclusives via the ecosystem, so they're still in our little bubble. But this game is going to PC, likely Steam or whatnot. But no, no, it's still a PS4 exclusive. I mean, it just baffles me. The hypocrisy is so real. I put a post on Bang Bang Gamers earlier, basically asking the question, like, what's your excuse for this? Because all I've heard all year is how we have no exclusives because they're on PC as well. And like the first comment was like, it's an exclusive because of this, that. And there's another guy saying No Man's Sky is a PS4 exclusive because, and it's just like the damage control is unbelievable. It's just like I think I just wanted to bring it up to you guys to see what you guys thought.
Drew and Micro, if I could go into my Don King of Xbox persona for just 1 second.
I wonder where he was tonight. I wonder where he was.
Gentlemen, no matter where you go throughout this land, hypocrisy and PlayStation go hand in hand. Listen, guys, it's like a YouTuber called Solid Rev said years ago. Solid Rev, he asked a question, and he said, PlayStation guys, no offense, but what has this console done to you? What has it done to your minds? How have you gotten so just mind fucked by this brand? So now finally some of your games are going to PC, and you flip the script. All while games were going from Xbox One to PC, it was like, oh, you guys have no exclusives. And now all of a sudden No Man's Sky is going to go to PC, and it's like, oh, well, we still got it first. What has this console done to you guys? Why are you so screwed up in the head? And it's just not me that's seeing this. Drew has seen it. Microbots of X has seen it. Kid Smooth has seen it. I don't know. You pick a YouTuber. You randomly pick anybody. We've seen this blatant hypocrisy. Why? Why are you guys like this about these little plastic boxes? It took me a long time to get with the program that Xbox games were going to PC. And then I realized, wait a minute. I still played Tomb Raider first. I still played Quantum Break first. It doesn't matter to me anymore. But it matters to you guys. Why? What happened? What happened?
It still boils down to the simple question, though, when you think about it. Like, even if every single game was to go to PC, it's a totally different it's its own entity. PC has been around, God, when the bloody pyramids were being made.
Yeah.
It's like nothing's changed. So why is it now, in 2016, when we get a Halo, a Gears, an Uncharted? I mean, granted, Uncharted that was a bad example, but still, my point is, the majority of games, like Street Fighter V, is another one on the PlayStation list. Like, this is best fighter. PS4's got the best fighter exclusive. Shits all over KI, Killer Instinct, blah blah blah. That's on PC. But they won't say that. Nope. They won't. That goes over their head. The second we're like, oh, I can't wait for Gears 4. You know, really looking forward to this game. You'll get a comment, no doubt. Oh, well, let's go to PC. Fuck Xbox. And it's like, honest to God, it's exactly like you said. What has Microsoft done other than kill about 3 popes that like has got these Sony ponies just so rattled? They're literally running circles in the stables, man.
I think it's because they dominated the last generation so much. I think they nailed it with the 360, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And they nailed it with Xbox Live. So.
But it comes to something though when people like me and you, nobodies, we don't get checks cut from Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo for that matter. We're not getting paid. Our dinners at the dinner table aren't being paid by Microsoft executives for putting our things up. We just play the games. End of the day, what does it matter to me or you? Like if Sony's unit sales are up there or down there, or how many exclusives this had, that had. End of the day, I play on Xbox because my friends are there, the ecosystem I prefer the community, I prefer the controller, I prefer Halo and Gears. It is my place to play, it is where I go to play. I'm not saying it's an impossibility to ever own a PlayStation or a Nintendo, but Xbox is my go-to to play. And why people think that's a bad thing, why it causes such a stir, these ponies, man, okay, fair enough. The 360 dominated last year, but why are they chewing on sour grapes over it? You know, they're doing exceptionally well this year, but it hasn't changed their stinking attitude, has it?
Nope.
I just will never understand the mind of a pony. Like you could give them an apple, but they just want more.
They just want more. They go on YouTube making all of these videos, exposing people as corporate slaves and having group therapy sessions. Then they go and have their own group therapy sessions. It's just bizarre. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And a lot of these guys are grown men. And if you're over 23 years old, I consider you a grown man. A lot of these guys are grown men just arguing and bitching and complaining about nothing.
That's true.
It's always the way. It's always going to be the way. It's always been the way. But it's more visual now because of the internet. I mean, it was the same with Nintendo and Sega, and it was the same when Sega went head-to-head with PlayStation 1. PlayStation were very underhanded with the way that they did things on that, and pretty much killed off the Sega brand. They're a very cutthroat organisation, they're a very cutthroat company, and they always will be. They'll always do whatever they need to do to make sure that they're successful and that they're on top. It's just unfortunate that some of their hardcore fans have sort of moulded into the same type of, they've been moulded by it, haven't they? So, but it's more visual now. It's all over Facebook groups. It's all over Twitter. It's all over YouTube. It's everywhere, isn't it? So you're never going to get away from it. It's just going to get worse.
And Sony, there's a man out there called Sega Forever who has never forgiven you for killing the Sega brand. So you just know that.
I haven't. I love the Dreamcast. I mean, the Dreamcast was miles better than the PlayStation. Miles better. It was
that console.
It was the first console to have a bloody brought a modem built into it for a multiplayer. It was a great system. Great system. Intuitive. It pushed boundaries with the memory card systems and things like that. But it actually had a memory system that you could take out of the controller and go and play games on afterwards. It was a great system.
The console was small. It had a crazy library of games at launch. Great console.
Still love it. Still got mine. I won't get rid of it.
This is what I love about this podcast, man. I mean, like, I don't mean to commend ourselves. I mean, like, I don't mean it like that. It's just, like, we've discussed an array of topics, and we're just not afraid to say what we want, man. I mean, like, people can claim we're fanboys. I don't even care at this point, because I know that each one of us here will say it as it is, whether it's Xbox that are fucking up, Sony, Nintendo, or either one of them are doing great things. We'll just say it, and honestly, it's fantastic. I like the fact that there's just no biased bullshit going on in this podcast. We just hit the topics, hit them honest, hit them hard, and we get the job done. That's what I like to do, man. So I've always been. I like to be honest and keep it true. and we discuss a huge array of things, man. I mean, like, Micro, do you have anything on your list? Like, because I've got one left on mine, but if you've got anything on yours.
No, not really. I mean, I had a couple of launches. I mean, obviously, Dead Rising Trilogy drops next week, I believe. Oh no, sorry, 13th of September, not next week. So you got the Dead Rising Trilogy dropping on the 13th of September. All been redone. All the graphics have been redone. 1080p, 60 frames per second. So they're going to run very nicely. I know my lads
Nice.
right then.
Nice.
That's all of the ones that were on the Xbox 360.
Is that the trilogy? Did you say, or
yeah,
just
it's all three of them. You can get all three of them in a pack. So you got Dead Rising 2. Dead Rising 2, what was the DLC? There was a sort of a spin-off game from it. I can't remember what it was called now. But you get that as well, and Dead Rising 3 as a pack, remastered, 1080p. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but those games are very popular, so it made sense for them to port them over. I'm not a huge fan of all these remasters, but at the end of the day, if it's allowing people to go back to these games that they enjoyed so much, then so be it. You know, if they sell, you know, people obviously want them, and more people will do them. So
I got a whole different perspective on this whole remaster thing. I mean, both of you can chime in and like correct me or say your piece if you think I'm wrong. But like, for a long time I was thinking, like, why are we getting remasters all the time? Why? But the more I think about it, the way the Xbox has rebranded itself with this backwards and forwards compatibility. You know, you buy a game once, you got it for life, blah, 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 blah. I think the reason why a lot of these games have been remastered to the Xbox One is because now, from there on out, once they are officially remastered on the Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox Scorpio 2, whatever, like backwards, forwards, like they are with you for life, much like a PC. Like a PC, you can still play games that you owned 30 years ago, whereas you wouldn't have been able to do that before with the Xbox console. But with games like the BioShock trilogy, you know, the Dead Rising trilogy, Halo Master Chief Collection, you know, they're all now on the Xbox One console. Even in 40 years' time, when you're playing on the Xbox 200, if you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I fancy playing on Dead Rising, you can just tap it. And either whether it's digital or if you've still got your disc, imagine it'll be all digital by then. But you know what I'm saying, and it will be available to play on the current UI, the current ecosystem, the current Xbox console without any fuss. Whereas like before it was remastered, you'd have probably had to go on eBay and buy an Xbox 360 and a cheap copy of Dead Rising and do it that way, much like the Sega and the old Nintendos. That if you want to play games on those systems, you have to fish out a bit of money, try and find it on the internet and go play it that way. Whereas I think these remasters are a way of getting you away from all that. Like you can essentially own these games for life now, instead of having to be bound to going back to older systems. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, no, you are. I mean, I think certainly with the advent of the Xbox 360, I think games changed dramatically. When you had games like Mass Effect drop, I mean, you've got Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, which hasn't come to back compatibility yet, but I hope it does. There are many, many games on the Xbox 360 that I could quite happily go back and play. So if they're happy to redo those ones, I want to play again, so that they're updated and visually made to look better or sharper, or even just on the back compatibility program. Yeah. I'm more than happy to go back and play them. I mean, Red Dead Redemption is a great sort of example of that, and so is Black Ops. You know, when you look at the sales of the sales figures for those two games when they went on back compatibility were just mad. Because obviously people had spent the last year selling their old games because they didn't think they were ever going to get to play them again, and they wanted to get rid of their Xbox 360 because not everybody has the room to keep all their consoles. You know, not everybody has the room to keep 3 or 4 consoles under their TV, and they've got wives that moan like hell because they're keeping this stuff. I might use it again one day. No, you're not. It's just collecting dust. Get it out of here. You know, men don't have sheds anymore. Well, men do have sheds these days. They still have sheds, but unfortunately, the sheds need to be a little bit more insulated for all the tech that we keep these days. We don't keep old lawnmowers and old hammers and screwdrivers. It's all discs and consoles and things. So I think that's why things have changed, and there is a market, whether we like it or not. There is a market for remasters. Even the games that we feel, why are they remastering? Why are they remastering Dishonored? Why are they remastering this? Why are they remastering that? Because people enjoyed them, people liked them, and they've sold well again. So as long as these games sell, they're going to keep doing them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could go back and remaster the last 6 Call of Duties, and they would all sell well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But also the case of, like, even if a game that, like, maybe nobody really requested, or maybe a game a lot of people requested but some others didn't. Like, say for example they remastered Red Dead Redemption, like, hypothetically. I mean, whereas like before I would have been dead against it. Like I said, my perspective's changed, because, like, even though I would not go out and buy Red Dead Redemption remastered, probably not anyway, because, like, I wouldn't see the point of it. But, like, 20 years up the line, like, I could be like, oh, do you know what? Remember that game, Red Dead Redemption? I fancy playing that. And no, I don't have to go on eBay and try and find an Xbox 360 with a copy of Red Dead Redemption. No, I can just buy on the digital store the Red Dead Redemption remaster, and it will still be compatible on the current Xbox console that I'm playing on at the time, because of this whole new ecosystem they've built with games being backwards and forwards compatible, and once you buy it, once you've got it forever. So I mean, like, even if a game doesn't appeal to you there and then, it might appeal to you in years to come, and is still compatible with whatever system you've got at the time, because of them remastering it to the new Xbox, ecosystem. I think it's fantastic. I mean, the more I've thought about it, I am behind remasters. I don't want them to milk remasters, like I've said before. I'd rather new games, but when there's a quiet spell and, there's a quiet spot and they want to chuck a remaster out there, why the hell not? Because at some point you might want to play that game and it'll be available to you whenever you want it, like whether it's now or in 30 years' time. So that's my take on the whole remaster thing now, anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was expecting remasters. I was expecting some remasters. I mean, they did it with the 360, didn't they? You got Fable and stuff like that, the HD remakes. So I was expecting some remasters. I didn't think we'd get as many as we did. I mean, if they're going to do remasters, why can't they? I wish they'd do a remaster of the Mass Effect trilogy. Give us that. I mean, even if it's just on the back compatibility. I mean, we've got Mass Effect 1. I wonder why Mass Effect 2 and 3 haven't dropped on back compatibility like Mass Effect 1 has. And I'm wondering whether that is because they are doing remasters. I'm wondering. I really want to play through those games again, so I wish they'd just hurry up and make a decision and let us know. It might be something that you get as an add-on for, getting the new Mass Effect 4. Who knows? They might be lining it up for that release. I don't know. It's a funny one, isn't it? I mean, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. There's people that are going to want them, and there's people that aren't going to want them. So, have you got any remasters, E-Rock? Do you own any remasters?
I have a couple of remasters somewhere in my collection. I got to look for them. I used to have a problem with remasters, but I mean, Drew made some good points about maybe, some people don't have enough room in the television to have all these consoles, so they can go into the digital store in a few years and look up Halo Battlefield. Why not, man? Go for it. I don't, who am I to, who am I to stop these guys from making money?
Yeah, you don't mind them making money. I mean, you mind them making ludicrous amounts of money, like Activision do for Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, please.
When they put it's sort of maximum output, minimal effort with them, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing that really annoys me with them. Yeah, no, I mean, I've already pre-ordered the Arkham Asylum trilogy. I've pre-ordered them. I really enjoyed those games. I could quite happily go back and play through them again. If it's a game that I enjoyed, then I'll buy it as a remaster. But just because I don't like a certain game doesn't mean I should question why they're bringing it out. And I did when Dishonored came out as a remaster. I was like, what the hell have they remastered that for? But just because I don't like a particular game doesn't mean somebody else does. At the end of the day, we all have the choice. If they've made these remasters, we all have the choice. They don't force us at gunpoint to buy them, do they? So, You know, if they want to do remasters, let them carry on, and if they sell well, then so be it. And if they don't, then they've learned their lesson. But we have the choice. You know, at the end of the day, we have the choice as a consumer whether we actually go out and spend that money on that remaster. And for as long as remasters sell well, they'll continue doing them. Simple as that. And that was about Dead Rising, and we were talking about remasters. But yeah, I mean, the Dead Rising games will sell well. You know, they will sell well. People like them. They're fun games. My lad loves them. He loves zombie games anyway, but he really does enjoy those. I remember when the Xbox, got him his Xbox One. That was the first game he had, was the Dead Rising. So I know he's going to start pestering me, I expect, next week or the week after, pre-ordering that. That's it from me. That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all I got as well. E-Rock, have you got anything, or is that it?
Oh man, guys! Once again, another great podcast. I mean, we started out strong, we ended strong, we got our points across, and as always, man, it's great to be here. I had fun as usual.
It's business as usual. Business.
Business as usual. It's a good. I enjoy it. I mean, whether people are watching it enjoy it or not, I hope they do, and I hope the numbers of the viewing figures grow and grow. I mean, the last MicroPod that we did had the biggest viewing figures that we'd had to date. So hopefully that will continue to grow. Because of the time we do it, a lot of people watch it in the morning after or the night after. The figures grow over the week. So not everybody is watching us live, but they are coming back and they are watching it. So we really do appreciate that. I mean, we do this because we enjoy doing it, and the fact that people like listening to what we've got to say as well makes it all worthwhile. We are passionate about our Xboxes for some reason. We do like our Xbox.
Yes, indeed.
But we're passionate gamers as well. It's not just about Xbox. You know, we're passionate gamers. So you know, that's it. And obviously, our special guest earlier on. Do you know what? I cannot remember the guy's last name. I can never pronounce it right. You say it too quickly, E-Rock.
Adeloye.
Yep, you got it right, J. Adeloye.
That's it. So really pleased to have him on earlier. Hopefully we'll have him on again at a later date. You know, when his new title, as yet unnamed.
Yeah, how about that scoop? I wasn't expecting that.
No, yeah. I know. I might have to do a video about that. I might have to do a little shout out. But honestly, what a lovely guy he is as well. I mean, he just
to drop, wasn't it?
Yeah. But what a lovely bloke. I mean, like, what a down to earth bloke. He was just so. Just an open book. Really nice guy. I hope we can get him on again sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to get him on again. So that's it. I mean, we haven't been around for a couple. As I said at the start, I was on holiday last week, and the week before that, me and E-Rock did the first microfilm podcast, which was a great laugh. I really enjoyed doing that with you, E-Rock. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be next week. We're going to return for that. So we've got loads to talk about. I was, just before I went on holiday as well, I was on the Crossfire podcast with the Mooch 78, which was really good. I really enjoyed being on that, and I'm hoping, all being well, I hope to get the Mooch on here at some point in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
He has said he would like to appear, so that would be something I'll be looking at soon. I was really surprised when E-Rock turned around about this week's guest, so that was great stuff. I was really pleased with that. Can't thank you enough for that, E-Rock. You're working your nuts off in the background, even when I'm on holiday. Look, they're working that hard. They'd even invited him when I wasn't even here. I mean, come on. I was planning the MicroPod podcast, and I'm on holiday with my feet up in sandals, and you're all planning the MicroPod.
But you know, that's why I kind of sat back and let you guys take the helm with the questions, because you know, I figured, man, I did my part, man. Let these guys work, because you know what? I want to see this thing grow. We got a good thing going here, and I think it's going to grow. And it's just fun. It's just fun, like coming here each week and talking to friends. And I wanted Jay on the show because he is so accessible, so down to earth, and I knew that he would click well within the group. So there you have it.
Really good. Really successful. It was nice having him on. It was great being on the podcast. As Bowen said, he was great guy, really nice. Approachable. I mean, he didn't have to listen to our stupid questions. He's probably answered these questions hundreds of times, hasn't he? But he gives the time to come on and to do it, which is great stuff. So,
and And the thing that's amazing about you guys is normally, Kids Move and I used to do the show. We used to produce it and write down the questions. Guys, I kind of ambushed you because you had no time to write down questions and you still delivered. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent, excellent.
No, I mean it's going from strength to strength, isn't it? So the main thing is, at the end of the day, is whether we enjoy doing it. Because if we don't enjoy doing it, there's no point in doing it. But the three of us, we get on really well. There's a camaraderie between the three of us, isn't there? There's a bit of piss taking, a bit of joking, and I think, you know, that makes it entertaining for us, and it makes it entertaining for the people that actually take the time out to listen as well. So it's all good stuff, and it's Battlefront, E-Rock, not Battlefield.
Yes. I'm writing it down right now. Battlefront. I've got it now.
Anyway, we're gonna have to call it a day, because otherwise Bowen's gonna have to go and give his donkey another carrot in a minute. It's gonna be, the light keeps going dark in there.
He's well fed, this donkey. I won't be having a repeat of that last week, I tell you that. No, what a fantastic podcast, guys. Brilliant. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks with the MicroPod number 6. Can you believe that? The number 6. It would have been more, but I have been going on holiday a lot for some reason.
Hey, man, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, man.
That's it now. That's the last one.
Yes.
That's the last one till Christmas now, so that's it. I'm done. Holidays are done. Yeah, thanks to everybody for listening. Please check out our partners, xboxculture.com and xboxdvr.net. No, it's not. It's xboxdvr.com. Oh my god, I got that wrong as well. xboxdvr.com and xboxculture.com. Go and check those guys out. Partners with the MicroPod. Follow us on Twitter. Follow myself on Twitter. Make sure you check out B. Drew's channel, The Welsh Gamer, and eRock8150 on YouTube. Both have their own YouTube channels. Go and check them out and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And thanks for listening. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Myself and eRock will be back for the Microfilm podcast next week. We'll be discussing all the latest news from the movies. Obviously, we've been 2 weeks without a microfilm, so there's a lot to talk through. Suicide Squad being first on the list. Anyway, that is all. Guys, if you want to just say your goodbyes, we start with eRock today, I think.
Oh, guys, as always, thanks for coming out and joining us and having a great time. It was a great show, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
And be Drew.
The Welsh Gamer, thank you very much for a great podcast, and thank you very much, eRock, for getting Jay Adeloye on here, mate. He was absolutely amazing, man. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed questioning him and picking his brains on how it is to develop a game. Another brilliant podcast, another load of great points made, and can't wait for the next one. That is the Welsh Gamer, out.
That's it, guys. We will see you in a fortnight, and back for the microfilm next week. Take care.